You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Icebreaker, ice melter.
Oh, I forgot. My
tea.
icebreaker. Yeah. Here's one. Got it. Anxiety high today. Here we go. This is the anxiety episode of the Energy is Love podcast.
That's the last 314 episodes.
those were the icebreakers too. Here's the anxiety. I have like funny things happening.
Oh yeah.
I put on nervous makeup today. I haven't done nervous makeup for a while, but I did nervous makeup. And that's okay. If I ever show up to an event looking like a clown, I was nervous and I just kept applying.
You don't look like a clown.
Well, thank you. It's super thick, but it's okay. I'm probably gonna melt halfway through, and it'll
Luckily, it's a cooler day.
It'll be okay. But I wanted to wear color.
Okay.
And silliness. I just had this thing. I want to wear yellow, and so I go looking for yellow in my closet, and I have one pair of I don't even know what kind of shorts they're called. Athletic shorts that are too small for me to wear now. That's all the yellow I have. And I'm like, okay, so what is it about? Why do I want to wear yellow today?
Yeah.
I never want to wear yellow. And how funny that I have
no yellow.
Yellow. And so I try to put on your yellow t-shirt and I was like, it's just not fitting right. So I did pink and then I put on a black shirt and I'm like, I look like an old lady. And then I just put on another pink and I sat there and stressed out forever about wearing a yellow shirt. And I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, is there anything in here that's yellow that I can put on? So something yellow is needed.
Do you remember we did that episode not long ago where we talked about clothing and colors and the reasons for and or not?
So apparently my solar plexus has got some. Right now my solar plexus is like, this girl is on fire, right?
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. Solar plexus it up.
What's your interpretation of why you want to wear yellow today?
My interpretation went as far as why the fuck do I not own a single piece of yellow clothing that I can wear on an episode? I have little athletic shorts that are a little tight. It'd have been I
like those shorts.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Do you have any insight as to why you don't have yellow clothing?
Probably because I my solar plexus. I'm like, nobody look at you. We're gonna shh.
Don't draw attention.
I don't even own yellow to make sure you are hidden.
Right.
Right. So, and I don't feel like yellow is my color either. I don't feel like that's what's been missing in my life and was really going to bring out my essence is yellow.
Don't you think it's funny that your color's purple and that's the crown?
Because I want to always escape.
Right.
I'm
You're always up in the
let's go in the
atmosphere.
esoterics and just let's play up here. It's much safer.
And mine's blue.
Yeah, right. You're very
Talk. Throat chakra over excessive. Talking all the time.
I'm always in my head and you're always talking it up.
Yeah.
And together we make a podcast.
I sat down for my oatmeal this morning and I tried something new and it didn't work.
What did you try?
I thought it was going to work really well. So every morning I put the same stuff in my oatmeal. Honey, peanut butter, cinnamon, and the flaxseed that you grind up for me.
Yes.
This morning we are out of honey.
I know. We figured that out last night.
So I put peanut butter, cinnamon, and then in lieu of honey, I thought I would do a special treat of some cocoa powder and have some chocolate oatmeal.
Oh, no.
It didn't work.
Oh, no. That's like the kid with the spoonful of the cocoa powder.
It's exactly like the kid with the spoonful.
You did it again as a 41-year-old.
After 41 years, I still think that maybe this time cocoa powder is not going to taste like
You know what you just needed to do is put a cup of sugar in your oatmeal, and then you would have had no-bake oatmeal.
I thought about it.
Yeah?
Yeah. That
would have.
Oh, that's right. That's exactly what no-bakes are, right?
Right? You almost made a no-book cookie.
That's so funny. I didn't even put that together because it totally has peanut butter and that's hilarious. Yeah. No-bake oatmeal. That's exactly what it is.
It just needed the sugar.
That's what I need to make tomorrow. A cup of sugar.
Right? Well, we could get more agave. So, you don't know.
Just more honey.
Well, agave is also, we need more honey too.
So I decided cocoa powder was the shadow of chocolate.
Did you throw it away?
It's chocolate's shadow.
It is chocolate shadow. You think it's
chocolate.
And then it's like, oh, this hurts.
Right.
This
and then
hurts
it causes
my
your immense
soul.
pain.
But when you work with it, yeah, you do. You feel wronged. You feel lied to. But what happens when you work with it? When you add love to the cocoa powder,
when you add sugar,
you get no bakes.
When you add sugar to it, /love.
Hopefully that works. Okay.
Pause momentarily while you tippy tap on your phone.
Could you hear the tippy tap?
No.
Tippy tap.
So, babe.
So, Craig.
I think we were going to talk about dreams this episode.
Okay.
We've been processing dreams for quite a while.
Okay.
You and I both are experienced dreamers.
Experienced dreamers.
First and foremost, right? Do you feel like you've dreamt your whole life?
Little dream? Yes, I know I have.
You remember dreaming your entire life?
I not only remember dreaming my entire life, I remember dreams that I had when I was a child.
Yeah.
So, yes.
What do you interpret? Oh, shiza. So, over the course of your life, how has your understanding of dreams changed and evolved?
I just heard something weird. Did you?
It sounded like a siren.
It did.
And then I realized it was a kid.
Was it a kid?
Mm-hmm. It's not ours, though.
We got a little... For kids making that sound, we gotta go like, what's wrong? He's like, I just tried to make cocoa powder oatmeal.
How has it changed, though?
It has changed. Kind of. There's things that have changed and things that have stayed the same. Dreams were like I've lucid dreamed since I was little, only I didn't understand.
Explain the lucid dream to the people that don't know.
I feel like we've done this.
Probably.
It's when you have conscious awareness in your dream and you know you're dreaming, and therefore you can create whatever you want in the dream, because dreams are basically, well, not just basically, but like when you're having dreams, if you think about, I guess I don't need to go into that. That's getting off topic. Instead of trying to draw it out, I'm just going to redirect and move back. So when you have conscious awareness in your dream, you can control it. So what you think, what you imagine to happen, or that you can do or create, is what happens, because you are in your subconscious. So it's just the conscious awareness in your subconscious dream.
So it's the movie Inception.
It's the movie Inception.
They made an entire movie about lucid dreaming.
I was the inspiration for that. Did you know?
Were you?
I did. I wrote a letter.
I didn't realize.
Leo did not give me credit, and I'm a little hurt. Just kidding. That's all a lie.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. Well, it wasn't a just kidding.
So glad you clarified.
It wasn't a just kidding so they know that I really wasn't the inspiration. It was a just kidding so they knew that my crazy ass didn't believe I was really the inspiration.
You never know.
Right?
The ideas, right? Ideas floating around.
What if I came to them in these dreams? Yeah. Anyways, so that's it. So I did that since I was little.
Okay, so you've lucid dreamed since you were little.
And I did it frequently when I was little. Now it is like I don't know even how. It's very rare that happens. But whenever it happens, I'm like, this is it. I am invincible. I shall create everything. The last time I lucid dreamed, I decided to try and do shadow work in the lucid dream as opposed to, and so.
What happened?
And I haven't lucid dreamed since. I think my shadow was like, the fuck.
What happened that time?
I from what I remember, like this is, but
semi-recently?
No, it wasn't semi-recently.
Okay.
It was probably a year, maybe more. Who knows?
Right. Time.
Who
knows?
But like I said, I haven't lucid dreamed since. But my go-to is like flying. When I lucid dream, it's like I fly. That's the first thing. I want to go flying, and I want to like create. I can create anything. And so I go fly and I create, and it's just this beautiful thing. I love it. And so it was like, here I go. And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to talk to my subconscious. I'm going to go in. And it was like, tell me what I need to see. Like, what is it that you want me to know? And I started working with a journey in, and it became this like weird, twisted, like color thing that just started like getting weird. and then I lost it. So it was like this in that turned into like this kaleidoscope of mixing. When I went in, it was like, I don't even know how to, I don't know. How do you describe it, right? But anyways, it's like when you are in a meditation, you know how you can just go when you don't think, but they were just talking about it. You can go when you don't think about it, but when you see it, when you're like, here we go, and you try to go, it disappears.
I had that this morning.
Yeah, that's what happened in it.
Yeah.
It was like, here we go. And then it was gone. And then I haven't lucid dreamed since. So I don't know if I broke the algorithm. If they're like, that's not what you're here to do, lady. No more lucid dreaming for you.
Broke your lucid dream machine.
But so there's that. And then just like nightmares. Lots of nightmares. So I used to be afraid to sleep.
Just lots and lots of nightmares.
Lots of nightmares. And I've had visits from people in my dream a lot that I've got messages that I have shared. So that's my, how about you?
That's your quick.
Have you?
Hold on, I was going to ask a question.
No, because then you're not going to answer any of the same questions.
I'm going to answer all the same questions, kind
You're
of.
You're so good at redirecting.
So you
projector.
You explained what dreams have been for you.
Yes.
What have you thought was the purpose of dreams over the course of your life? Has that changed?
The purpose of dreams. What did I think? I don't think I thought there was a purpose of dreams.
When you were younger?
Yeah.
I don't think I did either.
I knew that they were scary, sometimes cool, and made people think I was weird. Scared my mom. So I don't know. It was like I didn't think they were serving a thing.
Did you learn in like some shape or in some way to hide your dreams, not talk about your dreams?
I trained myself to stop dreaming because I had so many nightmares. I hated dreaming. The nightmares became the prominent, and I stopped dreaming for a really, really long time. I didn't dream. And then...
Or you think you didn't dream?
I think I didn't dream. Like, maybe I did, right?
That's another unknown, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely belief that we dream regardless of whether or not we remember them.
Yeah.
I think I'm on that side of the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we dream no matter what.
Well, for a long time, I turned off the recall of my dreams or even the sensation that I had a dream.
Yeah.
And then when I would have them, they would be nightmares. And I would be like, this is why I don't dream. And like, so I would.
Would you have that? This is why I don't dream in the middle of the dream?
Oh, no, not in the middle of
Just
the dream.
when you wake up?
Yeah.
Nightmares are interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have. I mean, I've definitely had nightmares.
So before, do you remember, like.
Do I remember what?
Don't touch.
Ask me your question.
Do you remember, like, have you always dreamt?
Yes.
Do you remember do you remember dreams from when you were a kid?
I have one dream that I go to as a memory of, this is the dream that I remember when I was a kid. And I was in the Never-Ending Story.
You dreamt about being in the Never-Ending Story?
Basically.
What?
And I had...
Hold on, I want to hear this.
So the necklace that Atreyu wears, that's the snakes.
Oh,
I had that. And then when I woke up, I couldn't find it. And I was convinced that, like, I brought it back with me.
Oh my gosh.
And so then I
What
was
if you
like
did?
searching the covers, and I was very upset because I had lost that necklace.
How old were you? Do you know?
Little. I mean, what was Never-Ending Story? Okay, Google.
Okay, I'll let you see.
When did the Never-Ending Story come out?
I'm going to say her and say
84.
84? No.
Came out in 84.
What?
So I was 3 when it came out. And we'll figure a year later it was on video. So 4, 5, 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to go back and watch it. I've decided. I keep thinking about it. And
we have the DVDs as long as they're still here.
Yeah. But we need to go back and watch it because I think it's going to trigger a bunch of stuff.
How many times do you think you've watched The Never-Ending Story?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Multiple times.
Multiple, like
15, 20, 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we need to go back and watch it.
We do.
That was a dream that I remembered.
That's a beautiful dream.
I had that necklace with the snakes.
Do you remember what was happening? Just like waking up and thinking it was there is like intense,
I don't have a lot of memory of the dream.
Yeah.
I just have the memory of the experience of that thing where it was like I very much was dreaming and I had it and I could feel it. Like it was very concrete in my dream. I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly that thing. And I'm holding this thing and it's so amazing. And I'm just like, I've got it now. And then when I woke up, it was gone. And I'm like, I just had that. Where is it?
Oh my goodness.
And I was like tearing apart the bed, thinking it was going to be in the sheets or in the blankets or under my pillow or something like that. Very, very upset that I did not have it. And then off and on over the years, right, I've dreamt. I feel like I've always dreamed, and I feel like I've always had awareness of them. As far as like placing meaning to the dream, that very rarely, if ever, happened. It was more or less just like, I think even up until probably the last few years, when I think about, for me, I think of a dream as like a movie. I'm just watching a movie, and they're very cinematic in the way that, like they happen. Or what are you?
Keep going.
Throat heart feeling over there.
Just keep going. I'll tell you.
And I think about, like, that's what it's always been to me. It's like I'm just watching a movie. Like, oh, that's a cool one. And I never placed any, not necessarily any weight, but I never really took the time to process the dream as far as anything other than just a dream. And that's weird. And I could correlate a dream to what I was currently experiencing. Like I used to dream about being a cop all the time. And that was like when I was a cop as well, right? I would dream about being a cop, and 100% of the time in my dreams, when it came time to shoot somebody, my gun never worked, or I would pull the trigger and it would be really, really hard. And then I would like see the bullet moving through the air, and then I would see it like hit the person, and the person wouldn't stop. So for me, that was always like this interpretation of, you know, having a lot of fear around that whole experience of actually, you know, I never wanted to kill anybody. I never wanted to shoot anybody, but
I'm so glad you never.
I'm so glad I never did. Yeah, me too.
That.
So that's the kind of interpretation that I would always draw from dreams, was if I could connect it to something that I could see was a correlation between life and what I was thinking and what I was feeling in the moment, then I would give it a little bit of attention. But I never really went into those. I'm having some deja vu right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, some pretty intense deja vu. So there's a chance that we've already done this episode at some point. So yeah, what was your thing that just came over you?
You want to help me with something?
Yeah, I want to help you with something, of course.
Because like the way that this all like came up. So
maybe that's why I felt the deja vu.
Maybe. So I have.
Is it yours? Is it your deja vu?
I don't know, but I want your help.
Okay, let's
like we'll see. Because I'm feeling panic and terror inside me right now, and I'm like, it's okay. So like the weirdness of the color thing today.
Okay, the yellow.
And yeah, and I'm starting to practice this thing of where you talk about something that is like whatever at the beginning of a live, which is also a funny story we'll have to share, but probably on another time because this isn't going to be funny, or an episode. So you say something that's just to get the conversation going, just to get the throat stimulated to where you can start speaking. You're here, okay. Anyways, in a non-sexual innuendo way, just to like let's get that, you know, warm up the vocal cords. Some of us have a hard time speaking. My stomach is like right, but the solar plexus, it is like, whoa.
You just said she was okay. On fire.
We're not okay. We're gonna be okay though. So like speaking. So that was like what the color thing was. I was just like practicing like that thing and getting the flow of conversation going. So
okay, so at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just that. And then we go into dreams and talking about dreams. And I'm like, I had since I was a kid, I had a reoccurring dream. That was, I had it a lot when I was a kid, and it would terrify me. And I'm going to talk about it. And then we're going to figure out what the fuck the correlation is to today, because it ties in.
We're going to interpret it?
I don't know, but you're going to help. Maybe we're going to help.
Stay tuned.
I'm also like
strap in.
Really bad physical pain right now.
Okay.
It's just like emotional. Like I'm hurting.
You want to do this?
We're going to, it's here, right? Okay. So I'm going to go with it.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't just line up. And then if I can't do it, I can't do it. Then we move on. And, I knock over the candle and throw salt in your eye to distract, and I run.
There you go.
I've got my escape route.
I'm ready.
So my reoccurring dream that I had when I was little, like itty bitty, that I kept dreaming over and over again. I would, how when you close your eyes, you see black or whatever, you have the colors come up, but just essentially it's like, that's like, or when you open your eyes, it's like, that's the encompassing of the color, like just to get, and yeah, I know you see other colors and things come up, but just, you get the all encompassing, like that is your surrounding. You are surrounded by that color.
Okay.
I had that in the dream. That's like my only visual was that, but it was a bright yellow. It was yellow. And I think I've told you this dream before, so you might remember, you might not, I don't know. But that's the surrounding. It wasn't like there was yellow furniture or whatever. It was just yellow. That's just like when you close your eyes and that solid color, that is like your world. It was yellow. I'm going to have to practice breathing because my anxiety is like amped. I had so much anxiety coming up here. I wanted to wear bracelets to help, but I couldn't handle the touching of me. And I was able to do the necklace and anyways.
So you closed your eyes and you saw yellow.
No, it wasn't. I closed my eyes. My eyes were open.
Okay.
I'm just like giving so you can get the context of that's what my scene was. It was just that yellow. Everything was yellow. There was no shapes, no anything. It was just yellow. I had the sensation of like I was lying on my stomach and I could hear men talking above me, and I couldn't quite make out what they were saying until they said, "Let's do it now," or "do it now," or however. I remember the "do it now." And then I could feel knives sliding in and out of my back where they just started stabbing. And then I would wake up. But that's the dream I had since I was little. So the yellow and then that. And then, so maybe we know why I have no yellow clothing. Right?
Seems like it's pretty clear why you wouldn't wrap your body in yellow.
But like my solar plexus, I have shut off. Like I've had all of the reasons that we go there, my pain there, that's where it manifests, all of the blah, 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 whatever. You hit that another day. But then today, for some reason, I'm like, I want to wear yellow, and I'm looking for yellow, and I'm trying to find yellow. And then we're talking about dreams, and you like hit on dreams as a child and all that. So I feel like, I don't know.
Comes back, huh?
So is this just like immediately I'm like, oh, it's just coincidences. It's nothing. I don't even believe in coincidence. I think it's synchronicities but I'm like, it's nothing. I'm just reading into it. Let's move on. But it's something. So what do you think?
Okay.
Because I can't do it. I am in it. So I'm just like holding my belly and being like, I'm ready to run.
So this is kind of what I wanted to do on the podcast anyways. Okay. By the way, I apologize that I didn't give you a heads up that we were going to talk about dreams. It was kind of in my thought process, right?
Yeah.
And in the last week or so, Stephanie and I have a practice of waking up and talking about our dreams with each other. And that looks like, what did you dream? And then we share it. And then the other person kind of helps in the process of interpreting it and understanding it and drawing some correlations or connections to what we're going through in life or experiences, or just basically kind of trying to understand the dream in regards to what's happening in our life.
We both have like unique skills with that are very different too.
Yes.
I feel like you also have my skills.
I do.
But I don't have your other one.
That's very true. Actually, you do have it.
I don't know how to embody it. I interpret it metaphorically.
Mm-hmm.
And I see this come up and I get the picture behind the scenes. So you give the dream and I can see all the like the swirly cloudy colors that what it's about. And I think you do the same. And then you can freaking deep dive, analyze the parts and like pick the dream apart like in a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
And analyze it. I can't do that.
Well, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to do this process with this dream.
Okay.
This dream that just came back to you that you have from childhood that's been a reoccurring dream over the course of your life. Do you remember the last time that you've had it?
Oh, it's been a long time.
Been a while.
Yeah.
But you still feel it. You still remember it.
I still feel it.
Okay.
And I remember like having it frequently as a child.
One of the things that's going to help you listening is to think about this experience and think about your dreams from a symbolic point of view.
Okay.
So rather than the literal aspect of things, try to think about each person, part, experience, location, basically just the totality of the dream from the perspective of symbology. What does it represent? What does it feel like? Less about the actual thing and more about what the thing represents to you. And it's very specific to you.
I'm like looking into the camera, like hoping for support. I'm like, y'all can help me with this one. Like, can you, like, there's not even, I'm just like.
I just wanted to give a little bit of context. So
like
we're going to practice. We're going to practice this now. We're
going to practice. Okay.
On the podcast.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am highly activated. So things that are going to be obvious to you.
You can tap out at any
are
given
not
point.
going to be obvious to
Okay.
me. Just, are you willing to like help more than
Very
probably
much so.
needed?
Very much
because
so.
my brain is like.
We're going to go real slow, babe.
Okay.
Because this is obviously a very painful dream.
It was can you imagine just like think of little Steph, just like a little kid that has that as a reoccurring dream.
That's my first.
Like poor kid, like
that's
poor
my
me,
first,
poor little Steph.
That's my first encouragement for you. Is to think of that little Steph.
Right.
Because we're going to be talking to her.
Okay.
Because we need to understand what she felt. And we need to understand what those things represented to her.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to be looking for some symbolicness in regards to all of these things.
Okay.
From the perspective of that little girl.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to have to try to balance between higher self, adult Steph, and go back and help that little girl.
Okay.
So it's a real basic dream, which is nice, right? There's not a lot of moving parts to it.
Like basic.
We're just going to go through it real quick from my interpretation of what you have shared,
dreamt
right?
of being murdered. Like.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've got a little girl.
Yeah.
Who is surrounded by yellow and sees yellow.
Yeah.
She's face down on the ground and she hears talking above her. And it's masculine. She just hears.
And there's multiple voices.
Right.
They're conversing.
Correct.
They're
so
like
hears
on both sides of me. They're like
surrounded by men talking above her.
Yeah.
And she can kind of only hear the conversation.
My back hurts. This is like physically affecting me so hard.
So she can only kind of hear the conversation and the thing that do you want to hold hands?
No, I just like, I want.
Do you want to hold a beautiful piece of obsidian?
I got my stuff. I know what to do.
You want to play with my sand?
I want you to quit offering me things, please. Thank you.
So the only thing that stands out to her is, okay, let's do it now.
Yeah.
And then they start stabbing her in the back with knives.
And it's not even fast. It's like the slow in and out. And I can feel the knife like going like in. I have sensations that I shouldn't know what the sensations are. Like I can feel like it's happening.
What is it?
The knives going in and out of my back.
Okay. So it would be really easy to just kind of draw some very quick surface level.
I'm like...
Right. Surface level things.
Should have brought my weighted blanket up for this so I could like.
Do you want to go grab it?
Maybe.
I can go get it for you.
It's okay. It's okay. Maybe we'll see. Maybe after.
Okay. So at the beginning of the dream, what is the little girl feeling?
Just terror.
Immediate terror.
I think it's confusion, really. I think it's confused. I don't understand what's happening. It's confusion before the fear. Okay. I think.
Confused.
Like, I know something's wrong, but I don't know what it is yet. Okay. Like, something's off. It's like, I think it's my intuition. I know something's wrong, but I don't know what it is yet. And so I can feel that like, something's wrong, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's about to happen. Even though I have, like, the reoccurring dream, I didn't have, like, every time it was a surprise. It wasn't like, oh, this is where this happens. It was like every time it was a surprise.
When you say every time it was a surprise, what was a surprise?
Like I didn't know that I was going to start to get stabbed. Like
okay.
I didn't know that's what was going to happen.
Okay.
Like I didn't know what the peak of the dream was. Like it was a recurring dream, but I didn't have awareness that I didn't have awareness of the repetition in the dream. It was a new dream each time until I woke up and I'm like, I had that dream again.
Okay. What is the little girl? How does yellow feel to that little girl?
I don't know. I can't feel yellow.
What would she think of when she thought of yellow?
I didn't know why it was yellow. Like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Does she have any feeling in relation to yellow?
No.
So if we ask
whatever
her,
that is like shut off.
If we ask her what's the color yellow mean, what would she say?
I don't know. I'm like, it's solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sun. It's, it's flowers or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what she thinks.
Okay. Sit with the yellow for a minute.
I'm nervous too. I don't want to.
So the little girl doesn't have awareness of what the yellow means. This is going to be a little weird, but now imagine that you're the color yellow in the dream. Why are you there?
Well, okay. This doesn't make sense. My first thought is protection, but that doesn't make sense because I can't see what's going to happen. I can't foresee it, and I don't know how to protect myself against it or get away from it because I have no visual. So protection doesn't make sense to me, but it was like trying to like block everything out and protect. So like a wrapping up to insulate or isolate from the shit that was happening.
Okay. So now we have...
I also, if this goes like really deep, I may not be able to continue on the podcast. Like, I don't mean forever. I'm like, I'm going to quit the podcast. But I mean like this episode may get as far as this. And I'm like, I cannot emotionally stay here anymore.
That's okay.
So that's like...
That's totally okay.
Okay.
And keep in mind, at any given point, you can tap out.
I can also be like, let's do this later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was going to go to the dream that I had last night and basically do the same thing.
Okay.
So we've got plenty that we can talk about in this space.
Okay.
This is just coming up for whatever reason right now.
Yeah.
So now the color yellow in the dream.
And my now mind, I'm like, that is not a protection. I was not protected. Like, I feel resistance to that. When you say that, like when I'm not, that's what it feels like. But I'm like, I was not protected. I was abandoned. I was like left to the wolves. I was like, I don't feel protected in that dream. But my interpretation of being the color yellow was
there
protection.
For protection. Okay. So now, why is that little girl laying on her stomach?
I have no fucking idea.
Ask her.
I don't know how to.
Why are you laying on your stomach?
I don't feel safe at all. I don't know if I can get that beyond. It's just like I feel so fucking vulnerable. And
what are you hiding?
What am I hiding? What came up with that is like, why did you just make what happened my fault? Like, what do you mean, what am I hiding? Like, that wasn't my fault. Why are you putting that on me?
I'm taking notes, people that are listening.
Yeah, but like, no,
watching.
I have that question. Like, what do you mean? What am I hiding? Like, that hurt my feelings. Because so much of that is like, when something bad happens, it's your fault. You did this. And like, what are you hiding? How about support right here instead of attack?
Keep in mind, I'm talking to the little girl.
Okay. Well, same. Like, why are you making it her fault? You got big Steph now. She's ready to throw down. You gonna fuck with her? I'm not little anymore. I know you're not attacking, but that's what it feels like. So will you please try and like help me with this? Because yes. I don't want to like
So I'm looking for the symbolic nature of every aspect of this dream.
Why does it have to be that I'm hiding something?
Because what would be the purpose? Because
I told you I felt vulnerable.
Hold on.
It felt like I was.
So there is a significance to why she's laying on her belly. There's significance to why she's laying face down. Because there's significance and symbolic, there's a symbolic reason to all of this stuff that's coming up in this dream. That's the only reason. Mm. So in my mind,
I don't feel like I'm hiding something.
Okay, what do you feel like it is?
I don't know. I have no idea.
So in my mind,
maybe I'm hiding. No, I'm not hiding because I know they're there and I know they can see me. I don't feel like I have a choice. And maybe I'm just protecting my belly, my front. Maybe that's like, I don't know. But I don't feel like I have a choice. It's not like I chose to lay on my belly. Like I didn't have a choice. Maybe I'm hiding from looking at it. Don't want to see it. I guess the fact that I got so pissed off should have been a clue that there might have been something there, huh? Instead, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why are you asking me?
So see,
you did really good at hanging in there with me.
some significance to
I got
why
a little
the little girl
attacky.
is laying on her stomach.
Okay.
Okay. So now, this is hard work, babe.
I know.
said,
I'm like, I don't know. Like,
point,
I think I need.
We can take a break if we need to.
Yeah, this might be a little harder than I thought. I got excited. I'm like, this happened for a reason. Because
Happen for a
today,
reason.
But I'm like, it did it.
So some things that we're highlighting already,
maybe this
right?
happened so I could bring it up with my therapist.
Yeah,
instead
definitely.
Of this, right?
Let's Skype her in, Zoom, like she needs to be on this call right now. Can't feel intuition.
Okay.
Can't trust or feel, not even like really feel the intuition. Yellow is a protective color in this experience. It's there to protect, to envelop, to wrap you up. Mm-hmm. You don't feel safe. It wasn't your fault.
Okay.
So those are some things that are coming out from this dream.
Okay.
Okay. Breathe into your belly as best as you can.
I do not want to draw attention to my belly. It doesn't hurt anymore. Like I think
right? We're disassociating a little bit from the experience.
Yeah. All the pain that I was feeling is gone.
Okay. So now do we want to just stop right now and shift up a little bit?
Is there anything else to do in this moment?
There's a lot more to do. We have just begun.
Okay, a little bit more and then we'll see.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
So we're going to go back to that little girl.
I'm very intrigued, but I'm also terrified.
We're going to go back to that little girl and we're going to talk to her a little bit more, okay?
Okay.
So keep in mind, Stephanie, you are 42 years old, sitting in our house right now.
All right.
Right, recording our podcast. You're safe. You're secure. There's nothing threatening your survival right now. You are sitting across the table from the man that you love immensely, who sees you, who loves you, who cares about you. You can feel your feet on the ground. You can hear the ceiling fan above. You can see the cool tapestry to your right. You're here in our house right now.
Okay.
So as this 42-year-old woman that you are today, you're going to go back and help that little girl.
Okay.
So you're going to be talking to that little girl. Okay.
Fucking parts work.
So we're going to ask her, what does she hear right now? Ask her to like open up her ears a little bit and see what she hears. What's her first response?
She's scared too.
Okay. She doesn't want to listen.
She's scared too. But at the same point, she's trying to hear. She's trying to understand.
She's trying to understand.
She's trying to understand. She's scared to hear. Oh, it's because there's also some distance. So it's like there's a little bit of distance. It's hard to hear because they're like, even though she can feel them and they're all right there, there is distance in the situation.
So it's further away than you thought.
They are still right there, but I don't know how to describe it. They're there, but there's distance.
Okay.
There's like, I guess there's like still, I don't know, choices to be made. There's still time or something. There's distance, right? And then the decision is made and then they're right there. Even though they're there, that doesn't like, I don't know how to describe that. That's so weird because they're there, but there's distance. There's still space. It's like they're deciding, they're making the decision. And it's like, what are they going to decide? What is the choice? Is that little me hearing that, or is that big me analyzing that?
It's okay. It's going to be a blend of both.
Okay.
That's the process.
Okay.
Because you're going to be using your skill set now to help her understand what she's experiencing.
Okay.
So the little bit that she just gave you, you could feel, tap into, process a little bit to help her understand what she's feeling.
Okay.
So that's what she hears.
Yes.
Okay. Can she move?
I don't know. I don't think so because I never did move. And it doesn't feel like I can move, but I don't know if I can.
What would happen if she moved? Ask her, what would happen if you moved right now?
I think it's okay. That doesn't make sense. So I know they see me the entire time. They're there making the choice about me, but that the first thing that she thought was like they'd see me. So if she moved, like it would be faster. They'd see. If she stayed still, she had more time. She stayed frozen, there was more time. So moving meant being seen and exposed faster. Well, what am I supposed to do with that?
Just awareness.
Okay. Well, what's the next step?
So the next step, because the next part of this dream is she hears them say what?
Let's do it now.
Let's do it now. Actually, before we go to that,
Okay.
you just flex, you can feel it on your back. So take another deep breath in your belly. Before we go to that, because
I'm ready to start crying, but I won't.
You can.
But I don't think I can. Like, it's like this, like, I'm ready to cry. Like, I want to be, like, I want to be saved. I want this to stop. I want, like, why did I have that dream as a little kid? And not even, like, once. Why did I have that dream so many times?
Yeah.
Like.
So this question, because we're going to look for the symbolicness of this question.
Okay.
Okay. So that little girl, what does men equal? What does masculine equal?
Danger, pain. Yeah. Was never safe. From the get-go.
And that little girl knows that.
That's shitty. Yeah.
And she's surrounded by.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there aren't other voices, right? Can she hear anything else besides men talking?
That's all it was. It was like, that was it.
Okay. So earlier, how we embodied, to the best of our ability, the color yellow, right? Now we're going to embody the masculine that's in this dream. And we're going to ask, what are you doing? What's that group of men doing right now?
I'm trying. I don't know if I can do that. I'm trying. I can't do that.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's part of it as well, right?
Yeah.
The awareness that it's too difficult to try to embody masculine and to connect to it and see what it's actually doing.
Yeah.
Right. That's okay. So then we hear them say,
let's do it now.
Let's do it now. And what's the next thing that the little girl feels after she hears that?
Knives. Going in and out of her back.
Okay.
Slow, like.
How many knives?
I think multiple. I don't know how many. I can just feel like multiple, like, and like repetitive.
Okay. Where on her back?
The kind of just like outside of the spine, a little bit more outside of the spine, like where your erectors are. You're like have your spine and on the side just a little bit out. So like the middle of the back. Yeah, it's just like yeah.
So the middle of her back?
Yeah. It's like the square, the like where your that whole thing is like where your heart and your solar plexus would be on your back. So it's like this space right here on the back. So if you put your hands here and like push back there.
That's where it's happening.
Yeah.
How long does this last?
Not very long because I wake up. Like I feel a few. I'm like, and then I come out of it and I wake up because it's too much, thankfully.
Okay. Think about the knives for a moment.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask you to like embody the knife, right?
Yeah.
But see if you can describe the knife.
Feels like butcher knives. I've always had that like big butcher knives, just.
Butcher knives.
Yeah.
So what would be the symbolic correlation to a butcher knife for that little girl? What does a butcher knife represent? What does a butcher knife mean?
Scary, fear, like death, murder.
Okay. Can she draw any correlation? Does it look like a knife that she sees or that she has seen before or that she recognizes?
I don't know because all I can think of is like all the butcher knives that I've seen. Like, I don't know how to separate enough to, you know what I mean? I'm like, of course I know what a butcher knife looks like. Of course I've seen butcher knives before. I can't think of like there was a, you know.
Anything specific about the handle of the knife or the blade?
I can't see any of that. I just feel it. Like there's no, it's just, it never changes from that like yellow. That's why I describe it like when you first shut your eyes, like how it encompasses everything. It's like if you were to go in a pitch black room and turn off like immediately. So it's just black.
And it's just yellow.
It's just yellow. So it's that. It's like lights out yellow. Like there's no visual other than yellow. Okay. It never, like the yellow doesn't fluctuate. It doesn't wave how you would normally get the color. It's just yellow. That's it.
Is anybody holding the knife?
The men.
Do you see them holding the knife?
No.
Can you see their hands?
I can't see anything. It's just yellow.
When I say see, right, because we've been talking about this, and I understand that yellow is the flooding color that you can't see past. Everything is just yellow, but we're still using our imagination in a sense, right? We're using that third eye to kind of create and pull from the experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, if we do that, then I'm going to start like inserting things, like, and I don't like that. Feels like I'm losing the validity of the dream because now I'm creating things so that I can see, you know what I mean? It's like I never saw anything in the dream. So to start to like see it now doesn't make sense.
So let's think about that for a minute.
Okay.
So this little girl who never saw anything managed to see so much.
Okay.
She's face down. She probably has her eyes closed. If she were to open her eyes, she would just see the ground in front of her. And yet she's able to see so much that's going on around her. She's able to sense and feel so much that's going on around her. She knows that she's not safe in this moment, but she doesn't know what to do about it. She's frozen. She's trying to hide. In her mind, if she just stays still,
there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Even though she knows there's not a chance, but there's a chance, right?
So she's holding on to hope that if she just holds still long enough, there's a chance. But inside, her intuition tells her,
well, this is just like beyond depressing. I don't know what to do with any of it. So if we fast forward to now, Stephanie, all of a sudden out of nowhere, decides to try and find a yellow shirt because she wants to wear yellow. Like, what is that? Like, is that me going through the process of thawing out my solar plexus and like releasing this? Maybe I'm ready to release this freeze, this hold, right? Is that what you're thinking? So I'm going to start wearing yellow. So I'm like, it's time to move. To go find some yellow. I was just talking about having to get red shirts. I just need okay. Now I got to go I've got a couple of red shirts, but not one yellow. Said? I did. And
then you breezed right past it.
Yes, I did.
So let's go back to it for a moment.
It's awkward. Okay. See, you can do this. This is the part that I can't do. I have been stuck in this stream.
Hold on a second. Babe.
I don't want to sit in it. It's time to move. Let's go.
Right?
Oh, that's funny. That's a big thing in my space right now, too. It's time to fucking move. I don't want to sit still.
Right?
Quit trying to make me sit still. I don't want to.
Yeah, oftentimes the things that we don't want to do are exactly the things that we should be doing.
But sitting still in that point was bad. So maybe I'm not supposed to sit still. Maybe I'm on it, that I'm just supposed to. Just kidding. I don't know how to engulf myself in.
So hold on a minute before you start trying to intellectually analyze and think outside of this process. Because you saw the correlation.
Yeah.
You drew all the pieces together of why this happened today.
Mm-hmm.
I want to wear yellow because I want to melt this frozen thing around my solar plexus. I'm ready to start embracing it and embodying it and letting it come alive.
Yeah.
And then we come up to record the podcast and you have a memory of this reoccurring dream.
Well, it wasn't just like it just didn't just come. We were talking about like dreams and dreams of a child, and you took me to childhood, like never ending story, even though I've like watched that.
Yeah.
Throughout my entire life.
Yeah, there was a progression to how we got here.
Yeah, so it's not like it just happened. Like you were leading the witness.
Right, but we ended up here.
Yeah.
And the memory came back in association with all the feelings surrounding it.
Yeah.
And we could pick it apart a little bit more. But I
think yellow's a happy color. When I think of yellow as an adult, I think yellow's a happy color.
Then why don't you wear it? Is it that you want yellow to be a happy color?
I think I was told yellow is a happy color.
Right.
I learned it somewhere. And so I'm like, yellow's a happy color.
Right.
Yeah.
We see that smiley face.
Uh-huh.
That's a big yellow smiley face. Yellow's a protective color for you. It's there to protect you, but you don't trust it.
Because I was not protected in that yellow light.
Right.
I was not protected. Yeah.
So we have more to analyze and feel from this dream.
I think...
I'm not saying we're going to do it now.
Okay. I was going to say, I think that we've done enough during the podcast.
I just want to, specifically for you right now, right?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that you can see some of those connections. You can see some of the things that you need to sit with and feel some more when it comes to your intuition, when it comes to not being protected, when it comes to the issues with masculine.
Yeah.
When it comes to...
I'm aware of that.
So there's a thing of being aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a thing of being willing to sit in it and feel it.
Yeah.
Feeling like you're being stabbed in the back. Like literally at your heart and at the center of your body where everything connects.
Plexus, yeah.
Right.
That's all right there. Those. I can feel it. It's like, it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
I can still like, it's crazy.
So every time you react to the pain, I'm just going to show you what your body's physically doing, right? As soon as you react to the pain, you go like this.
Okay.
So you suck in, people that are just listening, like you bring your body in and you push your back out.
Oh, I do. Why would I push towards it?
Because we're protecting this thing that's inside of us, this solar plexus and this heart.
Yeah.
So subconsciously, right?
That's why I literally I sit like this.
Mm-hmm.
I have like my ribs. I've always sat like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like accordion in and just I have a, yeah.
So now we understand a little bit more why the little girl was laying on her belly.
I get triggered every time I hear that. Every time. Because I'm like.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like she subconsciously knew how to protect herself.
Yeah. Which is weird because I can't stand things at my back and touching my back and like people, like things like a wall, sure, like I can wrap. And but like you're like I like you at my back. You're the only when you that feels safe. That feels safe.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny that the thing that I'm trying to protect is the direction that I lead and that I'll throw out first. So even though I'm trying to protect this, I will turn my back away to protect my back, even though I'm protecting the front. Analyze me that one. Actually, why don't we just move on? You can tell me later.
Okay.
Okay.
So this process, this is just a real basic, when we say this process, this isn't this is us exploring and experimenting around our dreams and trying to look deeper into what they are and the symbolic aspects of how they show up, right? Our subconscious is trying to process information. Our subconscious is trying to, I don't even think it's necessarily trying to help us, like that whole idea of,
right.
But the idea of it being separate from us, it's just trying to process.
Yeah.
It is us. So it's not our subconscious, it's us. It's just happening through our subconscious.
Well, your body knows what it needs to heal.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So that's going to come up in your dreams.
Yeah.
And your subconscious, keep in mind, like I just said, it's not separate from you. It's not your subconscious trying to teach you something through your dreams. It's you trying to process.
Yes.
But this part of your brain, this part of your mechanism, this part of your body, your subconscious, it processes information through symbols and through metaphors.
Always.
So our eyes are processing information differently than our hands, right? For my hands to see things the way that my eyes do, it wouldn't work. So our subconscious is the same way, where I'm expecting my subconscious to process information the way that I do. That's not the way it processes information. It processes information through symbols. So when I see something like a yellow, like the color yellow, right? I might think of it being a happy smiley face or a bus or the sun or connected to my solar plexus. But my subconscious, metaphorically and symbolically, sees it as something different.
Yeah.
So I had a dream recently, my dream last night, actually, which I'm not really clear on, which is why I was going to talk about it on the podcast. I was trying to, I was a part of a task force. I was a cop, and I was, there was a cartel that, see how my dreams are so fucking visual, like movies. So there was like a front. So like the front being the business that is hiding what's going on in the background was a mom and pop grocery store, but it wasn't like, it was a Mexican market. So it's a Mexican market is the front, and the secret operation that's going on in the back is drugs. And it's also like it's like a butcher shop. So it's like the type of market where you could get fresh meat and stuff like that. It's a butcher shop kind of marketplace, not just bags of chips and soda. And I'm going into the market. Like I realized that the guy that I was with or my backup or somebody is lost, and I have to go find them. And I go through like the back, like if I'm in the market, then I go through the door that's leading into the back storage area. And I realize that it goes down a hallway and then a turn and then another hallway. And I realize, oh shit, I'm getting into like the part, I'm getting into the darkness. I'm getting into the scary part. I'm coming down this hallway and turning, and I realize at some point, oh, this isn't like the hallway that leads to the bathroom. This is the hallway that leads to the secret cartel operation. And I'm like, the guy that I'm looking for, my partner, or like the fellow officer or whatever, must have been taken. And me by myself, I can't go down here and try to get him, or else I'll get taken or hurt or killed. And just as I realize this, I pause and I freeze for a moment. And I start to slowly back up because I know I have to get out. And right as I like turn the corner to get out, the leader of the cartel, or what would basically be the equivalent of the villain, I realized was hiding, and he saw me. So like I catch a glimpse of him as I turn the corner and then book it out of the market. And in my head, I'm running down these hallways and past everything. And he's like going to get me. He's on my, he's definitely, I'm about to die. He's going to shoot me. He had a gun. I saw his gun. And so I'm trying to get out of this hallway, out of this market, out of this, cartel front. And then I get out, and kind of like the scene changes, and it's more like that part of the scene, or that part of the movie where like the helicopters are overhead and the parking lot's full of, officers and cars, and the DEA was there. Like I was able to get out, call the DEA apparently. The DEA responds in massive force, and they, recognize, like it was this huge takedown of this cartel, and there was, like stacks and stacks and stacks of marijuana, like, not mountain high, but like 40-foot stacks of weed hidden in this big warehouse that was hidden behind this thing. And there was the head female agent called me over, and she was like, talk to that guy, tell that guy. And this guy was like some big meathead white dude that was an asshole. And basically I was telling him on behalf of her, like, we did this, you know, basically the feeling was, I was basically telling him that, oh God, what was I telling him? Because I was telling him something on behalf of her. I don't know if it was like, you're not needed here anymore. That's probably what it was. I say probably, like there's an easy answer, but that's kind of what it was, that she was like, yeah, tell him to get out of here, basically. Or like he wasn't needed, or basically there was something wrong. He was doing something wrong. And rather than her tell him directly, she was using me to tell him. And I told him, you know, essentially you were doing something wrong. And he got all pissed off. Like he was fucking angry, and he was a big guy. Like he would have been the equivalent of like the big, he's kind of the equivalent of the guy that I competed against at that jiu-jitsu tournament. Big, tall, bald guy with tattoos on his neck and ready to crush people. And he was all pissed off, like, fuck this and fuck her. And I was like, oh, it's on. Like I was so anxious and nervous, but also like very confident that I was about to fuck this guy up if he kept going. But he didn't. He left. And so yeah, that's kind of where the dream wraps up in a sense, right? That's kind of the highlights of it. So as I come out of the dream, this is an important part too, where if you're trying to understand your dreams, or if you're trying to remember your dreams, it's really important when you first wake up, when you have a thought of the dream, or when, you know, you open your eyes and you realize you just had the dream, to sit in there and don't move. Like do your best to just stay in that same spot, in that same position, and recall everything. Recall the dream. See what you can bring forth. See what you can remember. See what you can feel. Like I was really fleshing out this Mexican market, and I could recall like a scene where they were like butchering cows, and it was bloody and gross. Like the market felt really gross to me. And it was strange as I was processing it, as I was like fleshing everything out after I kind of had the thing. I'm like, what is it about this Mexican market that feels gross to me? First off, this might sound like racially insensitive, and it's not like a free pass because I'm half Mexican, but this is just interpreting the dream. Like there was something about like this whole thing being dirty and disgusting and gross. Oh goodness. So I that just clicked, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That just clicked, right?
Yeah.
Obviously I'm half Mexican, and yeah. Okay. So what you got for me, note taker? What are some highlights that stand out to you?
Keep in mind, Craig, like I'm trying to do the analyzing the way you do it.
I like the way you do it too.
Okay. Keep in mind that I want to be able to revisit this with you later. I will give you my best, but my best right now is not my best. I am still very much like in process from my own. And my thoughts, like there was like, I had things that were coming up in mind that I was like, not now, that I wrote down so I could get out of and just stay with yours. And I was writing down to keep me there. So I am here for you. Yeah. But I'm not going to be able to show up in my full capacity right now.
Yeah.
But
and that's totally fine.
I feel so bad about that.
You don't have to. This was me. Like this isn't, this level of dream that I just recounted is nowhere near the reoccurring dream and what you just went through.
Says who?
Says me.
That's a
my
perspective.
Dream.
Yeah.
And I was changing up I was just shifting gears so that we could move on. So it's okay. And like you said, there's more that we're going to be
there's lots
processing after the fact, right?
Yeah. So like you just like where you just like dove into and just like really realizing the you put together the last part of it. So I don't think we need to say that. Or would you like to?
What you got?
Okay, we'll just start because so the first part is going in. There's secrets hidden within, and what is on the outside or what appears to be is not what is, and so you're moving inwards, and that's where the danger is. But you're moving towards it, and as you go deeper, you're realizing who you thought was there is no longer there. Like there's like this abandonment part of where now you're moving through it alone.
Yeah, like I had to go in and it was like somebody had gone before me. And I got like just a faint, it's like, I want to say it was like a partner or, backup or something. Mm-hmm. But I don't have a real clear picture of who they were. Mm-hmm. Or what they are. But at some point, I knew they were I knew I was going after somebody. Mm-hmm. As far as who, I don't know.
You don't know.
And then, like I said, halfway through, I realized, the person that I was going after is dead. So that's another key point. I'm going to pause momentarily. I want you to keep going because you're helping me, right? Another key point too is our intellectual brain, as we process this, really wants to externalize it. So I want to think about this from different perspectives and different angles. And I want to draw a correlation to my time as a police officer. And like I had guys that I worked with that felt like brothers, felt like, I was in love with them and really close. And we had really significant bonds. And like, I want to externalize it, but I have to, or the intent or the goal, the practice is, everything about this dream is me.
Yeah.
Everything about this dream is me. Mm-hmm. So every part, every piece, everything is me. I'm the grocery store. I'm the Mexican market. I'm the female supervisor that was, I'm not, the me of the dream isn't just me watching it. Mm-hmm. And so obviously there's a part of me that went ahead, right? And is dead now.
Yeah.
So what else?
You want to just sit with that for a second? Like you don't need to keep trying to get that part that no longer exists. And it's not that it's like that part.
I didn't even have awareness of really what it was, right? I just knew that there was something else. Like, I had to go after somebody. Mm-hmm. Who are you going after? I don't know. The person that went before me.
Who was the person that went before you?
It was masculine. It was a guy.
Yeah. How old was the person?
The person that went before me didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
That was the other thing too, was like, I was kind of like, I was like begrudgingly going after this person because I was like, you fucking idiot. Like, we're not supposed to go in. Like, you're not supposed to go back there. Like, now's not, like, they went before, they went. Without really understanding what they were doing. It was somebody that didn't really understand what they were doing.
Didn't know how dangerous it was.
Didn't know how dangerous it was. Didn't know what they were running into.
Thought they could do it on their own.
Yeah. Didn't want to wait for backup. And then I had to go in after him anyways. So I can see that, right? I can see the symbolicness of that. And obviously I can draw a correlation and feel that in regards to me, right? The one that's just going to rush in.
Do it on their own. They got this. They can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't rely on anybody anyway, so why ask for help?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to come.
Yeah. And then, I got to that point because I was scared going in after them. And I was like, I can do this. Like, I know what I'm doing. I can do this. Because it was totally like cop moves of like clearing the hallways. And because there's a way as a police officer where you would move through a building and move down hallways and do so safely or as safe as possible because you have your gun and you're protecting yourself and you're doing all of these kind of different room clearing tactics and techniques. And that's what I was doing in the dream. I was like, I can do this. I'm doing this. I know what to do. And then it was like, I got to what felt like almost like I was coming up to the point of no return. It was like I was getting to that spot going down these hallways where I realized if I kept going, it was like very much not even a halfway point. I don't feel like necessarily. It was just a real clear feeling of like, oh, if I keep going, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it back.
Yeah, this is the part that I want to like focus on for a little bit.
Okay, what you got?
So while you're going through, your intent now, because like you've acknowledged your part as the person that went first, and now the person who's going in after. Like if you keep going with your purpose of what's your intent?
Saving that other guy.
To save this person. If you keep going and risking everything, all of you not mattering, just going to save this other person. If you keep going, what happens?
I'm going to die.
And what did you choose? What's the new choice you made?
I chose to come back out and to get some help. I felt like I failed. I felt so weak in that moment of, because I just kept getting more scared. There was like, in the dream, I could feel this thing where, like, part of the problem when you're a police officer, if you're trying to clear a building and you're doing it by yourself, there's nobody watching your back. And that's what I kept feeling like going down these hallways. It was like, I could see what was in front of me, but I got to a point where there were like too many twists and turns of stuff that was behind me. And it was like, oh my God, there's like the fear and the anxiety of what was behind me got to be so much that I couldn't, like, that was what kept compounding and making me feel like I had to turn back.
Choose to no longer sacrifice yourself and to get some help.
Yeah, to come back out and get some help.
And when you came out, what did you see?
Just a bunch of help.
You're like people on the ground.
Yeah.
And just people in the air. You're like, there was like the cavalry was there.
Yes.
Waiting to help you.
Yes, the DEA.
Everybody. Everybody was there.
Yeah.
Like you came out too.
Yeah, to everybody.
You came out to help. As much as there's still like intricate parts. And then you dive into the female who's heading it all up.
Right.
That is like, get rid of this person. That's up to you. And then you're going to fight. Like there's still these dynamics that are still playing out.
There's still some
archetypal
archetypal things playing out there, huh?
The peak of the dream is where you made a new choice.
Yeah, I didn't see that part, babe. That's really cool. It's funny too, because like the bad guy in the dream that I saw right as because I make that decision and I start backing out and I like come around, like as I back up around this corner and I catch a glimpse of him and he was like hiding up against the wall, like, you know, surrounded by some boxes or something. So just a little bit of him was showing. And I caught that glimpse of him and
you felt exposed, like seen.
Yeah, I felt seen and
like,
vulnerable. And I thought for sure this was it. He saw me. I was going to die.
Yeah.
So I hauled ass out of there. And then like that next scene change when everybody's there and stuff, he was like being whisked away in handcuffs. Okay. Well, this was Dream Interpretation 101 from Energy is Love. And hopefully it gave you some ideas on how to look at your dreams a little bit differently. And also what the purpose of those dreams are. I see dreams now very, very differently than I ever have before. Right? My subconscious just processing through things that I'm processing through. So it's not about the cartel. Right? And it's funny too, because it's so easy to draw the correlation between, because we just watched Ozarks and finished up Ozarks, and that has a big component in it of drug cartels and Mexicans and all sorts of stuff. And so it would be really easy to just, and that's what I used to do. I'd be like, oh, that was a cool dream. I can see how it, you know, connected to watching the Ozarks. That's funny. And then that's where I would have left it.
Right.
And then I had gotten a little bit of this processing this morning when I woke up and journaled a little bit, but in sharing it with you just now and being able to like, even just being able to verbalize and process it out more, like I'm retelling the dream to you, is so beneficial and so helpful. And I love your key insights and your awareness. So I think that's an important part too, where we have to process these things. We have to get these things out. If you have somebody, that's great. Obviously, it's not necessarily ideal, but I think it's really helpful. But you can journal about them. You can write about them. Because sometimes, like I was getting stuck with this one, right? Over the last few days, I've had some dreams that I've been able to kind of flesh out pretty well on my own. This one was getting me stuck. And so it really helps. I'm getting hair out of my mouth now. It really helps to, share it with somebody.
Yeah.
So
the, like the funny, like interesting dream, the editing dream that I told you about, I thought I was just telling you the cool part. And then, you know, we picked that one apart. You give me some insights. And then I was like, I'm going to bed. The dream that I wanted to talk to you about wouldn't have landed. Like the dream that I can see correlation now, but that we wouldn't have had. The dream I wanted to talk to you about was situation. There was 2 little girls. Something came up. I had to save one, and the other one got in the road. And there was a big school bus, but it wasn't like a regular big yellow school bus, but it wasn't like a regular, it was like a big snowplow was what it looked like. It was like a big blade was how the school bus was shaped. And so it was coming through and I couldn't get to her in time and it hit her. And then it was just like, I couldn't save her. And that's the one that I wanted to pick apart, which we would have done a million different ways. But because of how it delayed, today I have all of this. And so you have yours, and we just like the way that you pick them apart, how you said that used to be a cool dream. And now you've got all this, and you can see where you are choosing you and new choices. And you can also see how there's been like female roles that have conditioned you to not accept, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I thought I had a really good awareness of the importance of dreams and like the messages that you get and how like you're rehashing stuff and how you're like, you are being guided. You do get messages. People come to you in dreams. And I still had, well, that was a cool dream. There's dreams that were just insignificant, meant nothing. They were just dreams. And then now you have like
there's just layers
completely changed that. And I'm like, every dream has meaning. This is probably why I'm going to not dream for a while again. I'm like, I need a break. I'm going to take another hiatus. But yeah,
put those dreams
it's
on
like
hold for
everything now. Like the way that you can dive in these layers and that you're seeing.
It's just the symbols.
This is magical. Like you're very good at this.
Well, thank you. We'll see. Maybe maybe with this whole podcast is just going to change into dream interpretation. Right. Who knows? Right. So, we're just going to wrap. Enjoy your day, week, month, year. If you're dreaming, congratulations. If you're not dreaming or you don't think you are, you probably are. And I think we should probably talk about dreams some more because there's lots that we could do, right?
Probably. I might stop dreaming though. I might. So you might be, it might be the Analyze This Craig's Dreams podcast.
There you go.